Okay, I have no idea what that sign says. Translate this sign for me. I tested smart glasses while traveling in Europe, and the winner was definitely not what I expected. Not in a demo, out in the real world while actually traveling. So I took 5 of the most talked about smart glasses to Europe to find out which ones actually work. Oh, and stick around. I ran the same test on the INMO Go3 after I got back, so by the end of this video, we've actually covered 6 glasses total. I'm judging these on 2 things: live translation for conversations and look and translate for signs, which I think is critical while traveling to a foreign country. And I'm grading each one on speed, ease of use, and languages supported. Quick note, I'm focused on display glasses here. There are obviously non-display smart glasses that translate through speakers, but for this test, I wanted to see how the HUD and visual experience actually changes things. Quick spoiler, the G2 obviously has no camera, so it's out for the visual translation part, but it's still in the mix for the live translation test. Test 1, live translation. I ran all 5 through a French news broadcast at my hotel as the first step. Let's start with Meta. The translation itself is solid.
Promulgué il y a 20 ans par Joseph Kabila, un débat qui provoque de vives crispations.
But with only 4 languages supported at the moment, it's just heavily limited in who can actually use it. There's no way it can actually win this part of the test with such limited functionality. The RayNeo X3 Pro. The AR display looked great.
27, c'est un scénario catastrophe. La patronne de la BCE, Christine Lagarde, a malgré tout souligné tout à l'heure.
But this one only supports 11 languages at the moment, and there's no voice activation. You have to initiate it manually through the trackpad, which is not the most seamless. Limited language support plus friction, it just couldn't compete here. Next, the INMO Air3.
Iront dans la même direction et j'espère qu'ensuite nous dégagerons une large majorité puis une unanimité.
Accurate. But given the issues with its trackpad, I had to use the remote to operate it, load up and update the Google Translate app, and make sure everything is connected before I could even start doing anything. It's just a drawn-out process every time. Then we have the Even Realities G2. One thing immediately stood out. It has auto language detection, which seemed pretty magical and is genuinely useful when you're moving between countries. I tested it with several languages and it just worked.
Structure civile énergétique dans le Golfe, mais aussi ils se sont dit prêts à contribuer à sécuriser ce détroit.
Unfortunately for the G2, it is limited by the number of languages it supports. It currently tops out at 35 languages, and if you're trying to assess global connectivity, that's just not enough. Which leaves the Rokid Glasses. You do need to set your target language in the app up front, but once that's done, it's fully voice activated and hands-free.
Américaines sur l'Iran, elles se poursuivent. Aussi, les forces israéliennes font état aujourd'hui de 8500 bombardements en Iran.
Just say, hey Rokid, start translation, and it works. No remote, no manual steps, no thinking about it. And importantly, Rokid lets you choose between different translation models. I used the Microsoft model, which supports up to 89 languages, and it's built natively into the glasses. With INMO, you're relying on Google Translate, which actually covers more languages, but it's not seamlessly integrated into the experience. The others had more steps, more friction, or more language limitations. The Rokid Glasses just worked, so they take the lead in this part of the test. Test 2. Look and translate. Okay, I have no idea what that sign says. I'm standing in front of a sign I can't read. No time to pull out my phone, just the glasses. What happens? Well, this is where everything flipped. The G2 is unfortunately out here. No camera, no visual translation, no test. The RayNeo X3 Pro was the biggest disappointment of the entire trip. Let's see if RayNeo can help us with this sign. Based on my testing at home and the marketing around its translation, I expected it to win big. But in the real world, it literally just kept giving me errors multiple times. Compound that with the fact that you can't use voice commands, it was pretty frustrating. Okay, the INMO Air3. Let's see how INMO does. I have to find the Google Translate app, and there it is. Click. Okay. Oh wow, it did it. That was instantaneous. That was cool. When it finally worked, after all the steps of using the remote and launching the app, etc., it was actually excellent. But it had the same problem as before. Too many steps, not enough time. Then the Rokid Glasses. After their strong showing in live translation, these actually held up here too. Hey Rokid, translate this sign for me. There was a slight delay and there's no image preview, so I wasn't always sure that it captured everything. But for what it is, very solid showing. But the Meta Ray-Ban display, now that was different. Hey Meta, translate this sign. Oh wow, that's pretty good. It took a picture, overlaid the translation, read it out aloud, and it even let me scroll around to different parts of the image using hand gestures and zoom in and out. It's actually pretty seamless. Meta takes the win for this category pretty easily. Now, I mentioned the INMO Go3 earlier. I initially did not include these in the test, but I added it after the fact for one specific reason. But first, I ran it through the same two tests. On live translation, the Go3 held up well on accuracy, but I had two issues on my unit. Voice activation wouldn't work, and as of filming, the translated text only displays 2 lines at a time, which felt limiting for longer content. On Look and Translate, same story. I had to manually load the AI before asking it to translate. Like the Rokid, it gives you text output read aloud rather than an image overlay. Solid result, but the extra steps add up. Now, here's where the Go3 stands out and why I did include it in this test. Offline translation. The Go3 supports offline translation for select languages, so if you don't have data or signal while traveling, this still works. It's not the fastest, but for reliability on the road, it's the strongest offline option in this group. So here's the bottom line. Accuracy was comparable across the board in my testing. So what actually separated these was speed, ease of use, and language support. For live translation in my testing, the Rokid Glasses take the crown. Up to 89 languages, voice activated, hands-free, and once you've set your language in the app, they just work. For visual translation, the Meta display is the best experience. It's not the cheapest and it's not globally available yet, but when it works, it's incredible. Now, if you forced me to pick only one, I would honestly have to go with the Rokid Glasses because it does both live translation and look and translate well through voice activation and minimal friction. That combination is hard to beat in one device. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.